All right. It looks like we finally got this show on the road. This is Dave Randlett, owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, with his son, Dave Randlett, who is in his arms because he's sick and has been throwing up all day. So if you hear the occasional noise or throwing up sounds, gurgling, that's just my throwing up son who's running a fever. But that's all right. We're here to take a look at each and every team entering the 2019 season. I haven't really given every team a thorough look down yet. I don't know who of which was acquired that were like free agents versus, obviously any rookie would be somebody that was drafted. But this is just to give us all a nice look down on each team entering the 2019 season, seeing where they're at, seeing what they can put together on the field. And I'm looking at through the depth chart view just to see where teams have guys set up and lined up so we can better understand how they're going to use the pieces they acquired. So welcome to this overview. I've got GroupMe loaded up, so if you have comments there as I go through, let me know. And I'll try to respond to them if I see them. Anyway, we're going to take a look. We're going to go through just right down the line. We're going to start with the Bears and their quarterback, Teddy Gilbert. They picked up Brock Osweiler a couple free agent sessions, like a couple years ago, basically. And he didn't work out, so they drafted Teddy Gilbert in the second round. And he's looking to put on a strong second year, very accurate quarterback down the line. Not an overwhelming arm, but not terrible. I mean, he can move the ball down the field if he needs to. He can throw on the run, which is good because he's a fast, crazy quarterback. 95 speed. He's agile. He can accelerate. Not great on the play action, but that's not really Kurt's game. And he boasts 78 elusiveness. Now, he needs a third quarterback right now. He doesn't have one on his staff. He's got Cody Farmer as punter. So he still has to sign a backup quarterback, but not a bad backup with Brock Osweiler temporarily. I mean, he's got a cannon of an arm. He's accurate. He's started for the team before, so he knows the system. Not bad. Going to the running back situation, they have been shopping Curtis Newsome for the past 3 years, I want to say. They really are at home with Mac Duncan, and kind of Newsome is basically their backup, who's a bit of a change of pace guy. Mac Duncan brings decent speed, not blazing but good, and then Newsome is kind of the more elusive. Well, they're both elusive actually. Yeah, they're very similar. Looks like Curtis Newsome's just a little bit slower, but more agile. Who has the better hands coming out of the backfield? That's a question. Okay, so they both can catch it. So kind of two separate options. I believe Curtis Newsome's dev is slow though, so factor that in. I mean, he's an 88 overall, at least in my scheme right now, so that's not bad. Then he drafted KJ Mason, and he's still got Matt Forte hanging around. Yeah, what's he at this point? 76 speed, 82 excel. He could almost be a possession receiver at this point. At 6'2", he could do it. Yeah, so it's Mac Duncan and Newsome, but we all know that the Bears are more about passing than they are running. Kyle Juszczyk is a great fullback because he is 87 overall. I don't know anything about him. Okay, so the receiving game for the Bears, you've got Kevin White as their number one. They have Jalen Strong, who they signed to a 4-year, $90 million deal with like $50 million guaranteed. Jalen Strong, realistically, is a third or fourth option on teams. And because of what he's being paid and because of where he sits on the step chart, he he is going to have to play to his money's worth. Otherwise, the Bears just, I mean, it was already a disgrace to sign him for that, but he now has to become a target for them. They really like Sammy Coates in the slot. He's a good receiver, good in traffic. All of them are here. Um, Route running is bad on Sammy Coates, but that's really the only real bad negative factor with him. As far as speed, what they bring on the field, they've got 94, 91, 91. All of them accelerate just fine. Griffin Maggot. Um, yeah, I mean they're all pretty good receivers. 6'3", 6'2", 6'1". A lot of height here. 6'4" with Maggot. Um, Not a bad crew. The only elusive one here is Travis Benjamin and Justin Hardy. But there's no one guy. I mean, Kevin White's good, but there's no one like. Okay, Kevin White's pretty good. He's got great hands. He's got decent speed. Um, Jalen Strong's just going to have to live up to be a number two. But I would say it's about an above average receiving crew. It's nothing like what the Cardinals are going to throw at you, but I mean they've got the height and decent enough speed to go up and get it that they're versatile enough with what they want to do here. Um, yeah. Moving on to tight ends, you've got Alexander Floyd, Griffin Brown, the rookie, who I actually suggested he drafted, and I guess he didn't turn out being too great. Yeah, but let's see what they I think they really typically run just a one tight end set. I could be wrong, but he's 78 speed, 85 excel, 87 agility, good hands, in traffic, decent spec catch for an 6'5" tight end. What's his jumping? 83. Griffin Brown has decent jumping. How about that? And who's the better blocker here? Yeah, Alexander Floyd's really kind of their guy. He's tall. He can run downfield. He can catch it. And he's the best blocker they have. Moving on to the offensive line, they've got Russell Okung still hanging around. Brandon Linder, who he acquired from me last year in a trade. Really nice, young, strong guard. Ronaldo Bryan, 90 overall center, 3 years pro. He must have drafted him early because I know he drafted a lot of foundational pieces early on last year, or 2 years ago. Kyle Long, obviously a good offensive lineman, and then they have Zach Murphy, who they picked up a couple seasons ago as well, and he appears to be a pretty solid. Pretty solid. Yeah, they've got a decent line here. There's a couple aging pieces. I mean, goodness, Russell Okong's already 9 years pro. I say a couple, really just him. They've got a good line, and that was one of their focuses. I know last season was to build a strong line. Okay, so let's see. Aldon Smith is their defensive end. Obviously, a great pass rusher. Brings nice. The left end's it appears to be the side a lot of teams like to run towards, and so having a guy like a stud like Aldon Smith and possibly a terrorist like Aldon Smith on that side really will blow up any running backs coming his way. Will Sutton does not look great in my scheme. Let's take a look at what he brings. He's probably a big run plug guy. Yeah, power moves 85, 89 block shedding. Not fast, not super strong either for a lineman. Yeah, kind of average. Maybe even a little bit below average. I'm not huge on him personally. But that's who they're starting at right end. Defensive tackle Cameron Hayward. Let's see. Obviously a good DT. A little bit undersized as far as weight. 288. I like a defensive tackle that's above 300 pounds, but that's just one of my pet peeves. Like Cole Stark at 301. He is a quality defensive tackle. No, but seriously, they're both strong. Both can push the pile. They obviously run a 4-3, I believe, judging by what they have here. Kind of mirror defensive tackles. Poor player recognition, but he's still young. Yeah, kind of just hole plugging DTs. Good duo. Nice to have that backup, or that second DT, young and strong. Their linebacking core. This could get a little bit more finicky just because I run a 3-4 and linebackers are a bigger deal to me, and so schemes with the linebackers are a bigger deal. So what does he have here in Xavier Gooden? He's fast. So he's going to be more of a coverage guy, obviously, for 80 zone coverage at 6'1" and 91 excel and 89 speed. This guy is almost like a corner for this team in the back. Not bad at all. James Lee, the first round pick last year, an absolute stud for the Bears. Let's see what we got here. So he's 96 tackle. He's 1 year pro, 84 hit power, 83 block shedding. Can already recognize plays pretty well. Not super strong, but decent enough. There's not a lot to hate about him. Even decent zone coverage for a 4-3. Yeah, he's a whole package when you get him. The only thing I would say is I prefer a linebacker that's a little bit taller than 6 foot. But when you're getting everything else with him, it kind of makes up for that. Let's see, Kevin Pierre-Louis. I assume he's just another coverage linebacker. Okay tackling, not great. Fast like the other guy, 92 excel, 88 speed. And what's his zone? 81. Yeah, these guys, it's like two corners on the sides here. They're just going to drop back and blanket somebody. Yeah, impressive outside linebackers, and then you get the captain in the middle with James Lee. Nice linebacking crew. It doesn't look good on my scheme, but that's exactly what you want for a 4-3. Yeah, moving on to CBs. I don't think a couple of years ago this was not as anywhere near as good as it is now. Sean Young and Jatarian Agurs, who I believe was a second round pick, may have been first, I can't remember, last night in the draft. Let's see what we got here. So good man, good zone. Generally all the way through. Nobody's below 83. Yeah. Top three can press. Got to get his play rec up as he progresses him, but I mean he hasn't even played a game with him yet. Let's see what we got for speed here. Okay, so I think this was the fastest corner in the league, or in the draft. 97 speed, 90 excel, 90 agility. You've got him, who's kind of the more reliable, more seasoned guy. Obviously going to be covering number ones. He's 6'2", 5'11". Yeah, fast, speedy corners. Khalid Blake's the slowest, and he's not even terrible. Yeah, a good secondary. Better than it was 2 years ago. The secondary actually can keep up with some guys. Will they stop the fastest receivers in the league? No. But they've got a good mix of height here and nice slot corners that they can mix it up and customize kind of who they want to cover and how they want to cover them. Let's see what else we have here. Kareem Jackson, they just picked him up in free agency. I know that because I just traded for his backup. Brock Vereen, this guy's a captain in the backfield. I mean, 97 zone, 89 play recognition. This guy's going to be smart and following where the ball would want to go. 87 speed, 86 acceleration, good awareness. I mean, he's a veteran and he's smart, and I don't think he's a huge hitter. But that's what you're going to use your strong safety for between the two of them. Let's see what this guy brings. He may be more of a cover guy. Yeah. Good hit power. Good, decent tackling. Kind of a do-all guy in Furman with decent zone. Good safeties. I really like the pickup of Kareem Jackson. Really adds some kind of a veteran presence to an already young secondary. Yeah, not bad. Robbie Gould's still kicking in Chicago. Terrific. And Cody Farmer is their third-string quarterback and also the punter. Antoine Blake's the returnman. And Cordy Duncan, rookie wide receiver. What's this guy have? Oh, he's fast. Decent elusiveness. Yeah, not a bad returnman. Not super tall either, so he'll be able to sneak around. Cool. So that's your Chicago Bears. If you want to see the third down back, it's still Mac Duncan. Cool. Moving on to the Bengals, who did not participate in the draft and barely participated in free agency. Let's see what's going on with them. Andy Dalton's still the quarterback. Sam isn't really one to change it up. Meh throw power, but he's accurate where he needs to be. I mean, he's not gonna be throwing it deep, so his deep accuracy is just okay. First round draft pick last year, however, has more of an arm, is developing his accuracy. That's already a lot better than it used to be. And they drafted in the second round this year. The CPU drafted another quarterback, who's kind of in between. He's got 89 throw power. He's accurate right out of the gate. Decent throw on the run. None of these guys are made for play action. And let's see, Andy Dalton's actually their fastest option. This guy can get going quickly, but he's only got 72 speed, which just makes him not a statue, basically. Yeah, so Dakota Beasley appears to be the future. I mean, you're looking at the future of this team, and Beasley's your guy with Riley Gordon's the backup. I did see Sam did get on at one point and release some fourth quarterback he had, so he's at least had a chance to look at this. Running backs, you still have Jeremy Hill, who's only 5 years pro, 95 overall, one of the best backs in the league. And we all know that how Sam feels about Bernard. One of the best 1-2 backs in the league, I'd say. CPU drafted Durham, and he's got Lindsey back here. I mean, Jeremy Hill, he continues to just smash through guys. He's not even overall wicked fast, and his elusiveness is only 84, but it's his 99 trucking and his 95 stiff arm that really lend to him just being a beast. And he's strong. He's not a pushover at all. And Sam almost uses him like he's a speed back, but he's just a bruiser that can get outside. And then Bernard's that great change of pace guy. Ryan Hewitt's been their fullback for several years. Not a bad fullback. Sam raves about him, loves him. Good receiver out of the backfield, too. AJ Green is still the number one receiver for this team, basically because you can just throw it up and he will go get it. I mean, his catching stats are off the charts. He's not fast, which is fine because Dalton's not going to throw it deep. He just needs to go up and get it. And that's what he does, and that's part of Sam's offense. And then you have Mohamed Sanu, who Sam really likes. Jeff Janis was his pickup last year's free agency, and Sam loves him. Reliable slot guy. I believe he runs 1-2-3. This is the depth chart. So that's what he has. Marvin Jones has kind of fallen down as far as he's the fourth option, and his overall, I believe, continues to dip slightly every year. I mean, Sam runs a lot of 3 receiver sets, occasionally 4. But Sam's big on Janis. Sanu's starting to age, Jones starting to age, and AJ Green will always be an option for him. Outside of that, you've got kind of a couple basically camp arms that have stayed on the team. Taylor Carroll has decent catching traffic. He's just generally better at catching. But good route running in Carroll. He's a developing option. He could be something down the road. I don't think Pearson is going to be much. He's 5'8". He doesn't have decent jumping stats. Yeah. Oh, he appears to be fast. Probably use him in the return game. And yeah, Carroll has 88 elusiveness, so Carroll seems to be really a decent option down the road. Yeah, so good receivers. It's really all about AJ Green, but Jeff Janis is definitely another favorite of his, and I like Carroll. And Sanu continues to be the second option. I mean, he's tall, he's got decent hands, and really, who else is going to be your second option at this point? Tight end, you've got Tyler Eifert, who Sam loves as well. Sam's not afraid to throw it his way. Good, fast, good hands. 82, 85 for speed. Good hands. Catch it in traffic, can go up and get it. I mean, we all know who Tyler Eifert is. He's a good tight end. And Sam doesn't really run a lot of dual sets. He does like Croft, though. He's mentioned that in the past. One of the strengths of the Bengals is their offensive line. They've got young Jimmy France, who's a beast. Clint Bowling, still good. This line's starting to age a little bit. Russell Bodine is a beast. Kevin Zeitler is 92 overall. And Andre Smith is probably their weakest option, and he's still pretty good. Even 10 years pro. 92 pass block, 94 run block, 85 impact block, still 95 strength. I mean, he's a little bit slow. He's slowing down, but he still knows what to do. Just a great line, and really a factor to why they continue to be dominant, both in the run and pass game. I mean, they just give him time, and they plug holes. Yeah, Carlos Dunlap continues to be one of the top defensive ends in the league, mostly because Sam just really is awesome at using defensive ends. He knows what he's doing with them, and he's used Carlos Dunlap franchise after franchise. He loves him. He's a beast. He's huge, and he shreds through everybody. Michael Johnson looks terrible in my scheme, but I guess he's pretty good for the Bengals. I don't know what he has for stats. Looks like he's faster. No, he's just kind of an all-around guy. He's not amazing, but he's decent enough to complement Dunlap. That's really what it's all about. Geno Atkins, great DT, and Sam runs a 4.3, and so you'll see him bringing in he's drafted a DT every other draft here. Just finding that next perfect fit. They're both strong. Yeah, Davis with the 91 block shedding. He appears to be the guy that's up and coming behind Geno Atkins. What's their speed stats? This guy's fast, can get right off the bat. Yep. Decent line. 4.3s. Boring line. Whatever. Okay. Did not mean to shoot down the Bills. Ray Maluga is still their outside linebacker. Wow, he's getting old. I didn't realize he was still rocking him. Solid tackler. Not very fast. Well, 79 isn't terrible. An okay zone. I mean, Maluga's he's an aging veteran who can still play and is smart. That's what you're getting out of him. Let's see. Vontez Burfict is a beast in the middle for him. He formerly was outside, but Sam prefers him on the inside. He's got a few young guys developing behind them. And P.J. Dawson, I don't know much about P.J. Dawson. Decent tackler, hit power, strong, and knock the ball out of people's hands, force fumbles. 80 speed, 89 excel, and what's his coverage? 75. So you got 75 zone on the sides with speed. But it's working for him. It's working. Burfict is really the show here. At CB, you've got Marquise Vincent, Darquise Dennard, and Dre Kirkpatrick, and then you have Donta Johnson and Desmond Thomas. Leon Hall is gone after, I think, Cal just abused him 2 seasons ago. Sam had enough with him. Good man, good zone all the way down. Donta Johnson's is the only exception here, but even then he has good zone coverage. Good press, the top 3. Yeah, what's their speed? What do they have here? So nothing about these corners this is very similar to actually how Andy has his team built. Andy's going to beat you with his pass rush and force you into mistakes and let his slower, smarter corners make the plays, and that's apparently what Sam has in place here too. 89, 91, 87, 90. They all get up to speed quick, but they're not going to stop a Tavon Austin or Deshaun Jackson or something like that. But it doesn't matter. You just don't have much time. So, this corner is actually, I mean, he's starting. He's got 82 elusiveness. He's probably pretty good in the return game too. A good secondary, not an overwhelming secondary, but it's not like piss poor or anything. It's good. It's just not fast. Hussein Abdullah is their aging but strong free safety. Excuse me, he's a good free safety, but they did just draft Rayquez Penn, who has starred development. He was their first-round draft pick that the CPU took by them. If we compare these guys going down the road, okay, Hussein is not a good tackler, neither is he. Hussein has the better zone coverage right now, better play recognition, better pursuit. Penn will deliver the hammer a little bit harder. They both are 6 feet tall, and they both have okay jumping. That's not bad. Good hands. This is where we're starting to see the difference here. Okay, so Penn is a lot faster, 10 points higher. Gets up to speed better, more agile. And his awareness will take some working up, but definitely the future is here for this team. to replace Abdullah. I actually like the CPU pick for them because they didn't really have. I mean, Sam's mentioned he likes Sean Williams, but Penn definitely with his star dev and already decent stats coming out of the gate and good speed. I mean, he could play corner for this team. This I don't know if he's had a chance to edit this, but he could replace him as soon as this year. And then you have Iloka, who is a great strong safety. He's a hammer for the team. Well, maybe he's not. 61 tackling, 68 tackling. What's his hit power? 84. So he can deliver the boom, but he's just not a reliable tackler. Yeah, all right, speed, but not bad at all. And he loves Taylor Mays as well. So if you have Penn lining up next to Iloka, you've really got some versatile safeties. He's 6'4". He's huge. And with that hit power, he's going to be able to stop the running game, and keep up in the passing game as well. John Potter's their kicker. Their punter is Russell Gray, who's a rookie, apparently. They've got Pearson, who I had mentioned earlier in the receiving group, as the returnman. And Bernard returns punts. Their third down back is Jeremy Hill, because Jeremy Hill does everything for them. Moving on from the Bengals to the Bills, who just came under new management. They have Jimmy Mack, who is a crazy fast, crazy good quarterback, good throw power, great accuracy all around, throws well in the run, and you got 90 speed, 89 acceleration. Awesome. Ryan Griffin is a decent backup. He has 81 throw power. He's like the new Chad Pennington. But in a pinch, when you need him to just take care of the ball and move you downfield, not bad option. Let's see what else we have here. They got rid of Niles Davis. They got Trayvon Gray, 81 overall running back. I believe he was their first round pick this year. 86 speed, 86 agility, 89 acceleration, 85 elusiveness, 76 carrying, 87 trucking, 86 stiff arm, 85 spin move, 90 juke move. Okay, hands. Nice all around. Could he be faster, even by like a couple ticks? Yeah, but definitely could be like a cowbell for this team. Yeah, he's good. He's good. You can do stuff with him. I mean, his speed, you could say, 86, 89. No, that's not bad. It could be better, but definitely acceptable. 74 strength. If that was a little bit higher, I'd feel better about his trucking stats. But, 87 trucking is not bad right out of the gate. This guy's good. This guy's nice. Out of Auburn. They picked up Trey Mason as well. They got Manny Poole. 76 overall rookie. I don't know anything about him. 87 speed, 85 agility, 87 acceleration. Huh. A lot of. Well, he's more elusive, but these guys are all about trucking. Yeah, interesting. It doesn't look like they're going to be flying past you at the line, but they're all going to knock your guys down. So a pool power backs and elusive backs is what you have here. Marshall Tolliver's their fullback. Their receiving group. Javier Keith has been the number one since he was drafted in Buffalo, and he continues to be great at 6'4" and great speed. I think the only thing that hinders him is how he's got good hands. 98 speed. It's his acceleration at 83, so he just is slow to get going. Yeah, he's slow to get going, but he's good. He makes up for it with his hands and his height. And 98 speed. He's one of the fastest. He's probably the fastest receiver in the league. Then he did pick up Marquise Lee, former Jag, last year. He's just a good target. He's reliable. He's sneaky. I really like this pickup. Could he be doing the slot instead of Charles Clay? Yes. Should Charles Clay be a wide receiver? Probably not. Then you've got kind of these third options down here, but I like that they went after Marquise Lee. I like him. He's when I had him, his catching stats aren't bad at all. What's his speed at? It's 88, 90 acceleration. He's just good. I liked him. He was a comfortable fit. He wasn't like I'm gonna blow past everybody, but he was reliable. That's what I remember him being. So nice pickup. At tight end, they have the stud Jimmy Redmond, who was drafted the same year as my guy Russell. Good tight end. No, great tight end at 6'5". What's his speed? 85 and 89. 92 catching, 81 route running, 95 catching traffic, and his spec catch isn't bad either. Great tight end. Great future. Just he's going to be here for a while. And then they have Orson Charles and Marshall Tolliver, and I don't know how he runs this team, so I don't know if they're going to be using dual tight ends. I've said it before, they have a great offensive line, and they still do. It's young, it's strong. Not a lot to hate. Justin Fuller, defensive end. I believe he's better than my scheme show. Yeah, he's great finesse moves, great block shedding. What's his speed at? 80 and 90, not bad. In fact, he's a great end. He's 6'7" too. He's huge. On the other side, you have Aaron Donald, who's a beast as well. Underneath them, nobody exceptional. Marcel Darius is still the DT here. With Sherry Floyd, you gotta think this is gonna be a 4-3. 4-3 with Justin Fuller being the pass rusher. Nigel Bradham is a great linebacker. He's from what I remember when I ran the Bills, he is fast and has his coverage. 85. Yeah, he's a great coverage linebacker. He's definitely a captain on this team as far as in the linebacking core. Preston Brown's a great linebacker as well. And Adrian Werner, I believe they drafted him the first round like 2 or 3 years ago. 90 tackle, 80 hit power, 83 speed, 88 excel, and what's his coverage? 67. So he can do everything but cover. Good linebacker, definitely worthy of a first round pick. Then their CBs, they got Logan Ryan, D. Milner, Eric Rowe, Darby, who I'm surprised isn't higher on the list, and Zach Scott. Well-rounded coverage skills. First 3 can all press pretty well. Even Darby can. Terrible play recognition. If you want to exploit this secondary, I would use play action. Logan Ryan's terrible on a jump ball. And he's got 86 speed. This secondary is just okay. They're not lacking in speed everywhere else. But the fact that their play recognition is bad, what's their awareness? Did I already pass that? Yeah, that's garbage aside from Logan Ryan. This secondary is very exploitable. But it's not. It's below average. There's a below average secondary right here. And definitely the weakness on this team because the line and linebackers are good. Do the safeties make up for it, though? Let's see. Eric Reed's the starting free safety. Good tackling skills. Where's his zone? Zone coverage is great as well. Hit power is awesome. So you have a stud down here in the free safety position, so that he'll help make up some of the deep, like he'll cover the deep ball. And then you have Aaron Williams. I don't know where he's at right now. Good zone coverage, good tackler, great speed. Yeah, so the safeties are going to help nullify the deep ball, and we'll get to the running game quick. So it's really the intermediate game that is exploitable with this team. But overall, a good roster, starting with Jimmy Mack in that offense. Him and Javier Keith should be best friends. Plus, then you have Jimmy Redmond, and then you got a pool of power backs. Not a bad team. That secondary is the only thing that jumps out as just not good to me. All right, now you have your Chicago Blues. I'm familiar with this team. We always split our series. Here we go. Marcus Mariota, Ben Roethlisberger, and Cole Ballard. Nice backup to have, especially if Marcus Mariota struggles. You always have that option. Jordan's been pretty faithful with him. 89 throw power, great passing stats. Deep accuracy is fitting for the throw power. That's fine. Can throw on the run. Not great on the play action. Decent, really good speed, 88 and 90. Marcus Mariota is obviously the franchise quarterback and has been and has shown, and Jordan has shown he can light it up. And he is reportedly going back to his old ways of just really taking to the air. He tried to play more of a running game, but He's going back to his roots, he said. So he's got Mariota, he's got Roethlisberger, not bad. Lamar Miller is the kind of the cowbell for them. They do like Sankey. They did pick up Trent Richardson, and I don't know much about Trey McBride. I don't know if he's a recent addition or if he was here last year. Oh, he's pretty good, pretty fast right out of the gate. All of these guys are pretty elusive. And Trey McBride's carrying is a little bit concerning. And none of them can really truck. So it's all about getting past guys and evading tackles is what these guys are doing. And they do it well. I mean, Miller has been a top running back the past couple seasons. So good to see. Trent Richardson is their fullback, which gives them kind of a nice power guy because Jordan likes to run a lot of fullback dives. So basically a second running back. Not bad at all. What's his blocking? Does he provide any blocking? He's 79 strength. He's a second running back is what he is. Darren Dickerson is the blocker here, and he's done the job for quite a few years. So you have options at fullback, which is very interesting. Wide receiver, you have Philip Dorsett, 5'10". We all know the story here is Chris Conley, though. And Kendall Wright is good, too. Let's see. They got rid of Quick. That's unfortunate. I liked Quick on this team. Let's see. So, all pretty good hands. They're all about catching in traffic. Spec catch is a secondary thought here, but it's still, it's not bad at all. But he wants his guys to catch it in the middle of defenders. And I can attest he's done that. Terrible route running on Chris Conley. None of these guys, except for Latimer, get off the ball quick. Conley can go up and get it, which is great for his height. He's basically the throw up and go get it kind of guy. And I believe his speed will also show that. 94 speed, 93 acceleration. This guy's fast. This team looks like it's definitely going back to what Jordan likes to play. And it's just, I'm going to catch it in traffic. I'm going to go up and get the football. And I will be fast enough to evade your defenders. Chris Conley has no elusiveness, but what's his trucking? Did we already pass that? My son just woke up. I guess we can't see that here. But, yeah, good receiving core. Definitely very Swan. I like it. It's exactly what he wants. And they'll all go catch it reliably. They have Joseph Fourier and Chaiti Cox as their tight ends. And they have Ryan Otten as well, receiving guy. I'm surprised he's not starting, honestly. He's a great tight end. He's got great height. He's fast. And he's got good hands. None of these guys can run great routes, but they all, like the receivers, can catch well in traffic. And Fourier's got 90 spec catch. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, nice dual tight ends. If he wanted to run a dual tight end set here, he could. Yeah, very respectable and probably an underrated group here. Their offensive line, Chance Warmack, J.R. Sweezy. Trey Jackson is a decent center. He was a guard in free agency. Moved him, I guess. Shaq Mason and Taylor Lewin. Above average offensive line. It's not as good as the Bills, but it's pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, not a bad line. Defensive line got a whole makeover this year. They picked up Dan Crawford from the Arizona Cardinals. Nice underrated defensive end. Good finesse move, good block shedding. And I believe he's decent speed, 83, 86. Nice pickup by him. Going in a different direction with the defensive line. He's 272 pounds, 6'5", defensive end. And then you have Randy Gregory, who I believe he grabbed in free agency to be a new starter over here. Great finesse moves, needs better block shedding, and also pretty fast. He looks like he's trying to go with a pass rushing defensive line. And at DT, he's got Jarrell Casey. I don't know much about him. Strong, powerful, good finesse moves. Yeah, he's a do-all DT, and he can get to you in a hurry. Nice pickup. Let's see, Michael Kendricks is still the captain of this linebacking crew, has been for years. I thought last year he was middle linebacker. Apparently he's moved him to outside. Zach Brown, what's he offer in the middle? A reliable tackler, 89 speed, 91 acceleration. The speed on some of these guys is just ridiculous these days. The linebackers never used to be this fast. It's nuts. 89 speed, 91 acceleration. Good tackler. Kendricks is obviously a beast. And Alec Ogletree is the other outside linebacker. I'm imagining, okay, so great tackling skills. And is he fast? No, he's not bad. Not bad. And what's this guy's zone? 79, 76, 85 on Kendricks. Then you go over to the secondary. We see right off Jimmy Smith. It's not fast, but he's tall. You've got Bradley Roby, who, great corner. Jonathan Banks. Oh, Demetrius McCray, how you been? Justin Gilbert. Yeah, so kind of 85, 285 and an 86 here. Not a fast secondary overall. I mean, you've got some guys to make up for that. What's their coverage? All great zone corners. So these guys are meant for zone, and they can do occasional man. But basically zone corners through and through. And they do a good job at that. I mean, if they're playing zone, they don't have to be blazing speed. So that's pretty good. I would say, seeing how I rated other secondaries, I would say this is an average to above average secondary. Not bad. All right, then you got Marqueston Huff, brother of Michael Huff, who played for the Raiders as their starting free safety. Great zone corner. Poor play recognition, fast, good starting free safety in the league, and 5 years pro. That's awesome. Denora Searcy, I love him. When I had the Bills franchise, he was a smart, great corner, and I believe in the first year in this league, he was one of the top as far as interceptions. 89 zone, 74 play recognition, good tackler, and good speed. I mean, he's just a do-all strong safety. I really like him a lot. I think that's a great safety group and really just betters the secondary even more. Matt Prater's their kicker. Also their punter. And who's returning kicks for them? Rashawn Kearse, free agent pickup this year, is on kick return duties. That's what he was brought in for. And the third round back is Trey McBride. Interesting. So there are your Chicago Blues. It's, what time is it? It's been like 40 minutes already. I probably have enough time for one team. And then we'll have to resume this later. So, we got the Denver Broncos. They're next up. So, Russell Wilson, traded from the Seahawks, has been an incredibly accurate and reliable quarterback for this team. He was on a tear last year until the team kind of unraveled midway through the season. Accurate, smart. Steve's doing a good job being a quarterback in the league. It's just like it feels like at times he's just too conservative and throws to the flat all the time. But a good quarterback by a decent user with him as well. Always has the threat in the ground as a scrambling quarterback. So not a bad setup here. I don't know much about Hugh White, third-year guy out of Syracuse. 89 throw power, okay accuracy, can't throw deep. He's a scrambler. So you got two guys that can run around. Only Russell Wilson has everything else. At halfback, C.J. Anderson. Steve uses Anderson well, and I've always felt kind of like with the Dolphins and Eddie Lacy, they don't use him enough. This guy can carry you through some games if you need him to. He's not super fast, but he's solid and reliable. 90 elusiveness, 95 trucking. He could very easily, if you wanted him to be another Jeremy Hill in the league. And I feel like he's just not using him that way when he could be. He's a great back, and he could be. I mean, he's 5'8", he's tiny, and he's got 95 trucking. I mean, he's an awesome option. And really, he's all you need. So, Steve, if you're watching this, use him more. Because he's great and it's hard to stop him, kind of like Jeremy Hill. Your fullback is Matt Asiata. Your wide receivers, this team saw DT traded to the Seahawks, saw Jordy Nelson retire, and I believe they lost somebody else. And they were basically left with Brandon LaFell, maybe Sanders. Yeah, they had Sanders. And that's basically it. So they went and picked up in free agency Golden Tate, who's their new veteran to come in and replace Jordy Nelson. At 5'10", he's got great hands, good route running, poor release actually, and he's not super fast. But I mean, and he's 98 elusiveness. You're getting what, give or take some height, what Jordy Nelson brought you as a veteran, reliable receiver who's not slow enough to be a liability yet, but he's getting there. LaFell is your possession guy. Emmanuel Sanders is your slot guy underneath, who's aging now. And then, I mean, what do you have in these two guys? You got good hands out of Tucker. Decent route running, great release, awesome jumping, and he's 6'4". This guy is got a future. 87 speed, 86 agility, 85 acceleration. Yeah, Tucker could come right up the ranks here pretty quickly. He could easily fill the LaFell role at this point. Yeah, nice up and comer. Tight end, you've got Virgil Green, 6'5", 8 years pro. I don't know much about Virgil Green, to be completely honest. 84 speed, 85 excel. Hands. Is he more of a blocker? Yeah, you've got an awesome run blocker at tight end. You know what that implies, Steve? You've got Virgil Green, you've got a bunch of possession guys, and you got C.J. Anderson. You run that ball. You go flat out West Coast and you just beat people with clock control. That's what this offense is meant to do. Offensive line is bad. I reviewed it last year, and I don't know that they made many attempts to improve it. It's old, and it's just you're just squeezing what you can get out of this thing, and it's just, if there's any liability on this offense, it's the fact that they don't have a deep threat, and their line is not super reliable. I mean, we can look into their stats. I might be just off my rocker. Okay, so not bad here. Could be better run blocker. Okay, that's good. Alex Boone is still good at an old age. He's a run blocking center. That's all he is. 78 strength from Evan Smith. Left guard, this guy is also a run blocker. And then over here, a pass blocker. I'm sorry, pass blocker. So you got some pass blockers. Does it switch? Run block? Pass. It does switch. So you got a pass blocker, and then your guards are run blockers. Okay. So this team can run the ball. It can, but will it? C.J. Wilson is one of their defensive ends. I don't know much about him. Decent block shedding. Good tackler. Kind of an average end. Older end. This team is old, isn't it? Right end, you got Malik Jackson, who I believe is a stud, actually. 91 power moves. 83 block shedding. Good tackling. Yeah, okay speed. So he's above average. He's not bad. He's better than their left end. And at defensive tackle, you've got Linval Joseph. Look at the age here. Not super young. Defensive line. These guys are strong. They push piles and they get through guys. I mean, this is a 4-3 line is what you're looking at. That is meant to stop the run more. DeMarcus McBride I believe he was their first round draft pick several years ago. He's an 85 overall at 3 years pro. His tackling isn't where it's at. It's his 84 speed, 90 acceleration. Great finesse moves, great pursuit. 78 zone. He seems just like all around decent. I mean, you improve his tackling and he really will take off, but not a bad young linebacker. And they drafted Marcus Duncan. They have Brandon Marshall still. Brandon Marshall's actually the middle linebacker. Interesting. Ebrang. Great tackling. Decent play recognition. Good block shedding. Okay speed at 83, 86. Good pursuit. Yeah, and he's smart, 89 zone. He's just a smart, reliable middle linebacker. And when I've played the Broncos, they've shown that they can be reliable against the run, and their front seven shows that. Shane Ray is their outside linebacker, and then you got a secondary that has been good for the past few years, but really might be starting to show their age. Chris Harris Jr. is 8 years pro. You got 11 years pro in Talib. And and there haven't been any attempts to bring in some youth. So let's see what they do bring you. They bring you great coverage all around, at least the first two, and these guys aren't bad. They're not pushovers. Great play recognition the first two. Lorenzo Doss seems to be a guy that can move up the ranks here. What do they have for speed? That's the concern here. 89, 80 speed out of your second string corner. Whew. So if you're game planning, you might want to attack him. Yeah, it's a concerning secondary. It's not a dumb secondary, but especially the first two guys here. But they are old. Chris Harris Jr. still probably has a good 2 years left in him. But Talib is a liability at this point. And if you're going to do anything to improve without adding, you move Doss up here. You'll move Talib to like safety or something. And then you rely on these young guys to develop. Micah Hyde, they just acquired from the Packers. Great addition to the secondary as a whole. You've got a starting quality, high-powered safety who has decent tackling, great zone at 93, good play rec, good man, pursuit, decent jumping for his position. 86 speed, 88 excel, 90 agility, and he's smart. Great addition. Add some youth, add some leadership to this secondary at this point. And then you have Darian Stewart and TJ Ward. Don't know much about this guy. 84 zone, good tackler. Decent speed. So you got two great safeties to complement secondary. The question is, this team's secondary would do all the better if they had guys that would be able to rush the passer, and I didn't see much of that. And that's probably the weakness in this defense, is if you can't get to the quarterback, your corners, even though they're smart, can be outpaced, and that's where you'll suffer. And basically your safeties are going to be having to make up all the ground. But they're good. I mean, they can do that. And then you got Greg the Leg as their kicker. Their punter is Sam Martin, who it could almost be Greg the Leg again. Kick returner, you got Tremont Russell, the young elusive receiver. And then the third down back is C.J. Anderson. It should all be about C.J. Anderson. So yeah, that was your Denver Broncos. When I do this again soon, we will cover at least the Bucks, the Cardinals, the Colts, the Conquistadors, and the Dolphins. At the very least, we'll cover those 5. But unfortunately, I have to work at 4 a.m., and I'm running out of time. But I figured at least looking a little bit more in depth would be more fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Stay tuned next time, I guess, when we go back. Have a good evening.